Here with Concordia head golf coach Brett Muller to preview the 2024-25 seasons. As we sit here, you've had a little bit of time to see your team out on the practice course, but wanted to start off with what's something fun that you did this summer?
Something fun that I did this summer is watched a lot of the Olympics. My sister-in-law coaches track and field at the University of Florida, and she has an athlete that competed in the Olympics, so we followed that pretty close.
All right, cool. So far, what have been maybe some highlights or impressions from what you've seen so far in preseason? I know you've probably been out at Highlands a few times already.
So it was great this year. Had the opportunity to bring the teams in early again this year, like we were able to do 2 years ago. Just last year with the start date, golf start date, and also the first day of class, we didn't have that opportunity last year. So teams are working hard. We just finished up qualifying yesterday. Going to take a few days off here and trying to gear up for our first men's tournament. Will be on Monday and Tuesday.
Well, I know you're always looking for guys that can be consistent, and you had a couple at the top of the lineup, just starting with the men's side. It won't be easy to replace, obviously, Drew DeUrkel, who continues to work as a graduate assistant, but how does that hopefully happen in terms of developing some consistency and trying to fill those shoes of someone like Drew?
Yeah, Drew was a great player in our program in the last 5 years. As you had mentioned, he has shifted roles now and is fulfilling the role of our graduate assistant. He'll do a great job of being with our players. You know, he's battle tested. He's been in those situations. You know, definitely somebody the guys can lean on for advice, for some guidance. You know, we have a large senior class this year. You know, we have a lot of returners that have had some varsity experience. You know, I've been in and out of the varsity lineup, and really looking forward to some guys to step up and really solidify themselves in that lineup.
Just wanted to quickly highlight Justin Wiebert, who's a senior now and somebody who's been a part of your varsity lineup his whole career. Had a nice season. I know it didn't finish the way he wanted it to, but how do you see him kind of maybe taking on that responsibility of being someone you look at to be at the top of your lineup?
Yeah, Justin's into his junior campaign didn't go as well as he would have liked. He's had a great fall camp here so far, and I definitely expect him to be one of our leaders, be one of the guys towards the top of our lineup all year.
Just looking at the women's team a little bit, maybe some flashes of really good things last year. Have to replace a couple of really veteran players from the lineup last year. How do you kind of see things going as far as figuring out that top 5 for this year's team?
Yeah, so with Maya and Logan graduating, they were 2 girls that for the last 4 years played a majority of their rounds in our top 5. We have 3 very solid returners that had a lot of varsity experience last year. Both Emery and Maddie had great qualifying rounds, so definitely looking at those 2 to be our leaders on the women's side.
Maybe you could expand a little bit on Emery, who was second team all-conference last year. Now she's in an upperclassman type of role as a junior. What do you see as maybe the next step for her?
Kind of the next step for her is continue to improve in her game. She had a very good round a couple days ago in qualifying. That's definitely has motivated her to continue to work hard, and she's really expanded her expectations. She was the newcomer of the year in the conference as a freshman, and then finished second team all conference last year. And she's someone that should definitely be there. In the GPAC with a chance to push for the title.
On the women's side, you have maybe a few more newcomers than what the men have. How do they potentially impact your team?
Yeah, so wrapping up here with preseason qualifying, we'll have 2 freshmen in our top 5 for that first tournament up at Mount Marty, and definitely seen some growth from some of the other girls. We'll have 10 girls on the roster this year, and not just in numbers, but we'll have more depth than we've had in the past.
Well, this is, what is it, maybe the third year that GPAC's gone to the spring-only championships. So obviously that's when you really want to be at your best, but what do you hope to accomplish during this fall portion of the season?
Yeah, so we sat down with each team and went over some goal setting, and we set some pretty lofty goals. I do think they're attainable. With the fall season is definitely your foundation for the spring. We all know that the spring weather is a lot different than the fall. It's not as nice, play through a little bit more adversity there, but we do know a lot of our habits will be created in the fall with how we practice and how we approach our preparation.
I was going to ask about conditions and how you prepare for that. I know Highlands a lot of times is pretty windy, but how do you maybe you talk about that in terms of mentally, like it doesn't matter if it's windy, everybody still has to play that day.
Yep. So with Highlands, it is a very wide open golf course, and it's just in our practice. On those days that there's probably some other schools at our conference that aren't practicing. We're going to make sure we get out there. So when we do have those situations, it's something we've prepared for in the past. We can't. It's pretty tough to simulate 25 to 35 mile an hour winds and temperatures that low, other than actually getting out there and practicing in those conditions.
All right. Lastly, any other new dynamics or anything different to look out for with Concordia Golf this year?
I guess we do have some new uniforms that the men's teams are pretty excited about, so we'll definitely look good on the course.
All right. Lastly, can you get a SCO Dogs?
SCO Dogs.